Hi everyone, this is Abhinav from PhoneBench and today we are reviewing the Samsung Galaxy J7. Now this one comes with a 5.5-inch Super AMOLED 720p display up front, powered by Samsung's own Exynos 7580 octa-core processor with Mali T720 GPU and 1.5 gigs of RAM. So let's see how this phone turns out in terms of general performance, web browsing and a lot of other stuff. Now if you want us to compare the Galaxy J7 with the Moto G3, hit that like button so that we come to know. Now coming back to the Galaxy J7, on the right of the device you have the power lock and unlock button. It is actually quite sturdy, does offer good feedback, but the design on this smartphone actually feels quite dated. There's nothing at the top here, but you can see that subtle curve and some slight extensions at the top. Samsung says that make the phone better to hold, and it's quite alright. Moving to the left of the device you have the volume rocker, which is again quite sturdy. At the bottom you have the primary microphone, micro USB data syncing and charging port along with the 3.5mm audio jack. It's actually quite busy down there, and some people had issues with the earphone jack being at the bottom. It actually didn't bother me that much. Now coming to the back, you can see that you have a subtle curve there. It makes the phone easier to hold. Given that this is a 5.5-inch device, that's actually a bit helpful. But the back cover as well as the sides are actually quite slippery, and the back cover gets a bit smudged with fingerprints quite easily as well. Now you do have a 13-megapixel camera there with LED flash and the speakerphone. Now coming to the insides, you have a micro SD card slot to expand storage, and you have two separate SIM card slots as well. This is a 4G LTE device which supports Indian bands. We tested it out on Airtel's 4G network in Delhi. Overall the build is actually quite decent. It is a bit slippery though. Moreover, the volume rocker as well as the power button can't really be reached with one hand. You actually need to use two hands with this device. Now coming to the top, you have a front-facing flash, 5-megapixel camera, a proximity sensor, but there is no ambient light sensor over here. So no auto brightness. At the bottom you have capacitive buttons which don't light up and a physical home button. The physical home button actually does have decent feedback. It doesn't wobble, so that's always an added bonus. You have 5.5-inch Super AMOLED 720p display which actually looks plenty sharp. The viewing angles are wide. I didn't notice any major distortion over here. The colors look really punchy as you would expect with a Super AMOLED panel. Moreover, the contrast levels really hold good. Now as I said earlier, there is no auto brightness sensor, but you do have an outdoor mode which increases brightness so that sunlight legibility becomes better. And you have a one-handed mode available on the device as well. So this works with the keyboard, the dial pads everywhere. Coming to network and call quality, so actually pretty decent on the device. There is an extra volume feature so that you can increase volume over the speakerphone as well as the earpiece. We didn't have any major issues with network or call quality. It was actually quite good here. You have mobile hotspot, Bluetooth as well as USB tethering. NFC is not available, but you do have GPS and it does work out quite fine, even though if it is a bit slow in navigation. Now you can easily launch the camera app quickly by double tapping on the home button, and it works out every time. You have great shutter speeds over here. Focusing is decent, but when you try to focus in on macro shots, the camera actually struggles quite a lot. You do get an HDR mode available over here, which was not on the Samsung Galaxy J5. Pro mode works out pretty decently. And you can see this image, it actually did turn out quite well. You have some filters baked in, some metering modes as well. The front facing camera is pretty decent, but then again the Moto G3 actually has a better camera. Now here are some of the image samples that we had taken outside. And you can see that color reproduction actually is pretty decent over here. But when you compare it with the Moto G3, which is on the right, the images don't look that good. They are not as sharp, they are not in focus even. Now that's not to say that this is a bad camera, but it's not as good as the Moto G3. Yes, I was a bit surprised as well, but we have already seen that with the Galaxy J5. The images with the Moto G3 tend to be slightly more in focus. You can see that this was with the Samsung Galaxy J7, it wasn't able to focus, and this is with the Moto G3. Even here you can see that the colors look far better on the Moto G3, and the camera on the Galaxy J7 again suffers from controlling exposure. But yes, distant shots do turn out well. There is quite a lot of detail over here. But the HDR mode is almost a joke. There is no added depth to the image, no enhancement in color reproduction. Now even low light shots don't turn out that well over here. But overall, it's a decent camera, just not as good as the Moto G3. Now if we take a look at video quality, it's again pretty decent. It's about the same as the Galaxy J5. It handles exposure well. You can have a listen to the audio too. Hi everyone, this is Abhinav from PhoneBunch, and right now we are taking a video sample with the Samsung Galaxy J7. Continuous autofocus is available over here. Now coming to music playback, this is the headset that you get within the box. We've already seen this with all budget Samsung smartphones. These do sound alright. Now the only major concern I have with music playback as well as video playback is the speakerphone is really not that loud over here. Same as the Galaxy J5. It's actually slightly louder than the J5 but not as much as the Moto G3. Now you have some options to enhance sound quality when you are listening through headphones. You have adapt sound, you have an equalizer built in as well, and those do help quite a lot. Now we are playing a 1080p video. Again, video playback was flawless. We are playing a video now over YouTube. Streaming video also works fine. But yes, again, the speakerphone volume is not that loud and it gets muffled really easily. Coming to the software now, this phone is rocking Android 5.1.1 Lollipop right out of the box, and TouchWiz has been scaled down quite a lot. It's not that much bloated now, and moreover you get quite a lot of customization with themes and a separate theme store where you can download thousands of themes. There was not a lot of bloatware installed on the device, some Microsoft apps, and that's just about it. You can see the notification quick toggles up top. You can edit these. There are some quick settings as well, so you can choose which ones show up at the top of the settings menu. And going into settings, you can see Android 5.1.1 right out of the box on this one. Now out of that 16 gig internal storage, you have about 12 odd gigs when you get the device. You can expand storage with a micro SD card, and USB OTG is also supported. We are playing this video right from the USB disk and actually plays quite fine without any lag. And at present you can see we have 400 odd MB free right now. Web browsing is pretty smooth on the device. Pinch to zoom works out great. In general also the touch response is pretty decent on the device. Now with 1.5 gigs of RAM on the device, garbage collection is actually pretty aggressive. So if you have 3 or 4 apps open in the background, and if I just go back to Chrome, you will see that it is reloaded. So garbage collection is aggressive over here, but it doesn't affect the social media apps like Facebook and WhatsApp. Now gaming as well as in general performance is where the Galaxy J7 really shines. We tried to play all high-end games on this device and it played them flawlessly. There was no major issue there. The touch response was good throughout, apps open up quickly, and the game loading times were very good. Moreover, the battery life is very good on this device. It's actually better than the Moto G3. You have a power saving mode. Ultra power saving mode is also available over here. Moreover, you get great screen on time of more than 5 hours easily on any given day. And again, one con on this device, there is no ambient light sensor over here. So basic sensors again missing on the Galaxy J7. Now if we talk about the build on the Moto G3 and Galaxy J7, I really like the Moto G3 quite a lot. It's just simply better to hold in one hand. Yes, the display on the Galaxy J7 is definitely better, but the Moto G3 wins with overall handling of the device, in-hand feel, and to an extent better performance as well. Moreover, I really like the 5-inch form factor of the Moto G3. Well folks, that was a full review of the Samsung Galaxy J7. Now if I want to round up all the pros and cons, this has a very good display, decent cameras in the front and back, very good performance both in gaming and general use, but it is missing some basic sensors, the build quality should have been better, and the speakerphone should have been quite louder as well. Given this price point, the Samsung Galaxy J7 is a decent buy, but it's simply not as good as the Moto G3. We'll be back with more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. If you have any questions, let us in the comments section. Thanks for watching the video, and as always, have a great day.